Welcome to Tales of Ted DeGrazia, a Big Blend radio podcast covering the art, life, and career of Southwest artist Ted DeGrazia, as well as the current events and exhibits happening at DeGrazia Gallery in the Sun. It's a 10-acre National Historic Landmark located in Tucson, Arizona. Welcome, everyone. Today we're very excited because there are new exhibits coming at DeGrazia Gallery in the Sun. And of course, Lance Labor, the Tucson dude, is back on the show to talk about it. And if you have never been to DeGrazia Gallery in the Sun, this is a must-visit destination in Tucson, Arizona. It's a 10-acre site created by the world-renowned and most reproduced artist, Ted DeGrazia, known for depicting the Southwest, the desert Southwest, especially the people and the nature and just everything to do with the cultural Southwest. The gallery, again, is in Tucson, Arizona. It is a National Historic Site. It's a landmark. So, again, another reason why to go, but also not only the art, to go and see the art, but also the architecture of the gallery that was built by Ted DeGrazia and his friends. And it is incredible. It's all adobe. You can also visit his house. And in winter and, well, actually in fall, late fall, the little gallery opens up, which was his first studio on the property, and that has visiting artists. But again, a new exhibit is coming out. Its opening reception is September 5th, 2025. Friday evening from 5 to 7 p.m. If you're in Tucson, you're going to want to go check this out. There are 3 new exhibits to experience, and these exhibits will run through into the beginning of 2026. We'll keep you posted on that since we're here every month. So welcome back, Lance. How are you doing?
Doing good. Thank you for having me.
Hey, this is exciting. So new exhibits, 3. Not just 1, not just 2, but 3 new rotating exhibits. But we need to tell people that you have a permanent collection for people to see, right? For people going to the gallery. There's the ones that are always there, but every time I go, I always see something new, right?
Yep. There's 6 permanent exhibits, another rotating exhibit down in the permanent exhibits, and so those are always there.
Yeah, the 6 ones, there's a retrospective collection. DeGrazia paints the Yaqui Easter. We're going to get into that near that season. DeGrazia paints the bullfight, and what we talked about last month, which was DeGrazia paints the Papago Indian legend. So fascinating. One of my favorites, DeGrazia paints Cabeza de Vaca, and DeGrazia and Padre Kino, who I like to always call Padre Font, right? Get it mixed up. But so I need to go back to the gallery just to brush up. But I love it because he really tells the history and the stories of the Southwest and of the people. And there's also books when you go to the gallery. They have a wonderful store, and we are getting to the holiday season. So I bet at this opening reception, Lance, a lot of people are going to start going, let's get some of my holiday shopping done early before the madness of November, December, right? Because you always have wonderful holiday gift cards, decorations, bells, calendars, all kinds of things.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're right. We're still in the summer, so it's still quiet, and a lot of the winter visitors haven't shown up yet. But well, there's always hope.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have a bunch of people on Friday night at the opening, and there's going to be a little bit of Mexican food there, so that's always a good draw.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. So, Lance, these 3 exhibits are exciting, and I don't think we've seen them all. We've got DeGrazia's Pastels, ceramic paintings, and brush drawings that Ted DeGrazia did. So these are 3 completely different new exhibits. Again, these run until January 28th of 2026. So you've got time to do it, especially for those winter visitors that come into Tucson. I know most people wait until after January 1st. They think everyone has their big New Year bash and their holidays and come out, but everybody's a little different on when they come out to the desert to, stay warm during the winter. But let's start with the brush drawings of Ted DeGrazia. This is something different because he did not use pen, so he just kind of used a brush and started doing the drawings.
Well, actually, he used all kinds of materials, but the brush drawings are basically black and white paintings done with just a black paint and a brush. There's mining drawings. They're not really drawings. They're paintings. They're brush paintings. There's a lot of them, and they're really interesting. It's typical DeGrazia stuff. Indians and Mexicans and horses and all of his regular characters.
Yeah, it's interesting because he also did like a ballerina dancing, a cowboy. So this is where he really goes into portraying the people again and horses. He likes horses.
Yeah, and generally speaking, these he did a lot of these, and they were actually done mostly pretty quickly. I think he was very fast, and
Yeah.
it's going to be a very nice exhibit. There's a lot of roadrunners again, and it should be very nice.
Yeah, and he did these pretty much between 45 and 1963. But most, from what I'm reading on the site, and everyone, you can go to DeGrazia.org for full details. These were completed in the 50s. So yeah, 75 years ago. Wow.
Right, right.
Wow, are we really in 2025, Lance? How did we get here?
Yeah, we are. We definitely are, and I couldn't tell you how we got here.
I remember TV when there was no such thing as a remote control, y'all. So
Oh
just
yeah,
saying this is, it's so wild. And to go back into the 50s to me doesn't seem like it's that long ago, but yeah, it's creeping up on us. But I love looking at this because it just, it's something that would be like in a newspaper almost, telling a story. He would have done
yeah.
really good, like, as a comic artist, as a, not a cartoon, but telling stories that way, and he would have been good, I think. Yeah. And it's got movement. He's able to do it like sometimes in some of the brush drawings, I'm seeing that you don't see the person's face, but you see the movement and you already see the expression, which I think is pretty amazing to be able to do without always doing the full details of a face, but you know what's going on. I think he gives you
Yeah,
that
he was really
idea
good
of,
at that.
yeah, like, oh, this is what was happening. It allows you to use the creativity of your brain to look at his art, if that makes sense.
Right.
Wow, it's heavy, dude. All right, so ceramic paintings of Ted DeGrazia. So this is different. So he was painting on plates and things like that, right?
Yeah, well, he was creating his ceramics. He was making big plates and painting on them. And we've shown some of these before, but the this exhibit's going to have a many new ones, and it's going to be very beautiful. It's going to be very interesting exhibit. People,
Mhm.
I think, are really going to enjoy it.
Yeah, it's some of his
It's a
subject.
huge examples of his ceramics and his painting style on the ceramics.
Yeah, and also some of it was like sculptural ceramics too. So it's not just plates. He was painting on actual sculpture ceramics too.
Yes, yes.
That's amazing. I was just reading about some of them. Some of the subjects are kids at play, horses again. We know he loves that. And the angels, the sacred madonnas, and roadrunners. We know he loves his roadrunners and also design. So he likes to use the petroglyphs as part of his design work for the Southwest.
Yeah, he would call that his primitive art.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's there's a whole wide variety of images on these plates, and yeah, I can tell you a kind of a side story. Many years ago, he had hundreds of these plates that were stored in a storage shed out in behind his house, and he was already long gone. But they still had a couple of dogs, and one of his dogs was named Nutsy, and Nutsy took off out in the back chasing a pack rat and got into that shed and broke probably 99% of all the ceramics in there. So what we have is just a small percentage of what originally was there. Hundreds of plates the dog broke. I mean, he just destroyed them all. So anyway,
Wow.
that's my story.
Hey, I think we know that dogs do stuff like that, right? And did he
Well,
fit?
yeah, he was chasing the rat, and
He was
he is
doing his
he was
job.
a dog.
Yeah.
That was his
He,
job, right?
yeah. Was
No,
DeGrazia.
you saw that. She just shrugged her shoulders and went, "Well, that's the way it goes." It wasn't the end of the world, but I was certainly very bummed out. It was
Dogs are dogs, I won't
dogs
tell
are
you what
dogs.
You know, I remember, Nancy painting, and everyone knows Nancy, my mom here at Big Blend Radio, and she's an artist as well. And it was a painting or charcoal or something she was doing, pastels. I think it was pastels. And as a kid, I saw what she was doing, and I decided to add to her art.
Good
And
job.
that was my job. I went in and just thought I could add to it. And I thought I was helping her as a kid. And she had like some series going on. And so I added to the entire series. And it was one of those you don't know whether to laugh, cry. But when she was really upset with me. And it was one of those I
You
better
got
house and hang out with the dogs. Better calm down. But she couldn't
funny.
really get mad at me because I was just trying to be, helpful
The
and
little
help.
artist. You were being an artist.
I was, but apparently it wasn't good enough like she had to start her whole series over again. But, it happens. It happens. Well, I did do a nice segue here about pastels. And so I didn't even know he did pastels. I think we may have he did like something. He never stopped about just doing a little bit of everything. He always just, I'm not just an oil painter. I'm not just this. I'm going to, embrace all art mediums, I think, he did, but
Yeah, the
pastels is one of them.
pastels. He did a lot of pastels, and a lot of the pastels he did were for charity. He
Oh,
would do a quick pastel and give it to an organization and let them raffle it off for $5,000 or whatever they could get for it. He did a lot of that, and he also did. He was on the Today Show. Gosh, and I
wow.
don't know the year. It was in the early '60s, and he did a pastel right on the Today Show live, and we still have that. That's going to be on display.
Wow.
So that was kind of a cool thing.
Wow. Wow. So some of these are going to be some of the things there that we've never seen before, too.
Yeah.
That's what I think is so exciting because you have like a lot in the DeGrazia vault and you obviously can't have it all out on permanent displays. Bringing these out for everyone is like a real treat to see what he did. So yeah, I didn't know he was on the Today Show. Every show there's something new coming out. After all these years, I'm always just like amazed. There's a news story about DeGrazia. So with the pastels, just he's got the real soft colors, but at the same time, still that striking image. So the one we see now, especially up on the website, DeGrazia.org, everyone is, more angel. So he really liked to work with the angel as his characters. Not a
The
character, subject matter. Thank you.
subject.
Yeah. Yeah. So is that from hanging out and learning more about Padre Kino? Do you think it came from that side of it and also just the spiritual side of his friends, not
Oh,
the angel?
that's a hard question. I can't get in the guy's head, but it's possible. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, I
He
like
was
that
an
you're doing it.
artist, and he had all kinds of things pouring out of his brain all the time. So it was never the same thing. There was always something different coming out of him.
It's neat though to have it out there for people now, again going towards the holiday season. I'm just doing a big, push there. I'm just saying something unique on sale, other than those big box stores things that we buy for people. If you have a friend who loves the Southwest, this is like the perfect kind of, gift is, from DeGrazia. Something very unique. So yeah, so the pastels he was doing between 53 and 1978. So excited to see that. It is neat because he really does put the soft and then the bright colors at the same time and has this really cool balance of what he does artistically. It's fantastic. So those are three new exhibits. So everyone again, September 5th is the reception, but then these will be on display until the end of January 2025. Lance, are you excited? It's got to be a lot of work knowing that you have a couple days to
Uh,
like swap it all
it
out.
it's a huge amount of work. Luckily, I have a really good crew, and my collection manager puts all this together. And it is a lot of work, but it's very satisfying and it's gratifying when people appreciate it. Luckily, we only have to do it every 6 months, so it's all right.
Yeah. Well, no, it's
We're happy
exciting.
to do it.
Oh, it's exciting. And then, like again, the wave of the cross is coming down, y'all. Uh, he'll be back for spring. because I know that's an important exhibit. But I think this is really exciting. I want to see these, and it's just so different. I mean, even though the one picture you have up there on the site of him painting on the ceramics as this horse, it almost goes into the brush strokes that he has. Again, the movement part of the art is just so cool. Just looking at the mane of the horse, it's almost like the brush
Yeah.
strokes, but it's not. It's painting, so you never know what he's going to have up there. So everyone, DeGrazia.org is the website. If you're in Tucson, definitely go there. When everybody goes to Tucson, they go, "Hey, Lisa, what do you say you got to do?" I'm go there. As we talked about last month, going to DeGrazia is part of how we ended up moving to Tucson, because it was so unique and it was really authentic Southwest. It's really authentic, and it's done from an artist's perspective who really, really respected the people, the cultures, and the landscape in so many ways, and really tells the story. So I hope you go there. You guys are open every day except for Thanksgiving and Christmas, those kinds of main holidays.
Thanksgiving,
Check it out.
Easter, Christmas, and New Year's.
That's right. And don't forget, December, the fiesta comes up, right? So everybody watch for that.
Guadalupe Day, yeah. That will be on December 14th, Sunday, December 14th.
You go, Lance. Right on. Right on. So December 14th, mark your calendars. I know we'll cover that close to the time, so watch for that, because that is also, if you want to really get a taste of the true Southwest and the people and the cultures, that's a way to do it. So thank you so much, Lance. Always appreciate our time together and hearing these different stories about Ted DeGrazia's work and life.
Thanks, Lisa. Appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to Big Blend Radio's Tales of Ted DeGrazia show. This show airs every fourth Sunday. Learn more about DeGrazia Gallery in the Sun at DeGrazia.org. Follow the show at BigBlendRadio.com.